Well, new tonight, the Rutherford County Library System Director says she will not comply with the board's decision to relocate 132 books. Those books are children's books, and the board voted to move them to the adult section. So this decision took months to make after board chair Cody York criticized some for promoting, quote, gender confusion and having content involving LGBTQ plus themes and characters. Director Luanne James says she is ethically bound to uphold the First Amendment, and she agreed to relocate the books. She would be violating the First Amendment right of all county citizens and herself. Within an hour of her making that statement, the Library Board of Directors chair called for a special meeting on this. Cody York says the executive director's refusal to implement a lawful directive of the Rutherford County Library Board constitutes insubordination, and that this warrants serious disciplinary consideration. So that meeting will happen March 30th. It's open to the public, and we, of course, will be there.